Hello everyone, Beauchamp with Final Expense Direct, and today I want to talk about final expense telesales scripting. Any agent that's been doing this for a little while knows what I'm fixing to say is absolute truth. How many times have you been on YouTube and how many videos have you seen about scripts? They're all over the place, right? Everybody has an opinion. You know, I talked to a guy yesterday who told me his script was 26 pages long. Can you imagine that? 26 pages long. Well, here at Final Expense Direct, we have a different philosophy. We believe in a script. Without a doubt, you have to have a path and a road and a guide to take you from A to Z. But you also have to understand that these people have heard every single script out there. All right? All you're going to do is be robotic and be just like everybody else that's out there. So what you have to do is learn how to take that script and put it in your head and in your heart so you can verbalize it with compassion, with empathy, with a series of questions. That's what we believe is the magic, is discovery questions. How do you find out what's in their heart and what's in their mind and what their experiences are, right? So it starts off with the introduction. Good, strong tone of voice, good attitude, smile in your face. Who are you? Establish your position of strength as a licensed agent in that state. You are the authority. And if you have the technology and the ability to text them or email them your business card with your picture on it, do it now so they can connect. They can see who they're talking to instead of just some other voice on the other end of the phone that they're not going to trust and they're not going to believe. The next step is credibility, and 2 and 3 can kind of be interchangeable depending on the path of that introduction. But it's critical that you establish credibility. As part of the authority, who are you aligned with? Is your IMO, is your company, is your agency, are they listed with the Better Business Bureau? How many carriers and which carriers do you represent? Top carriers in the United States. You're going to do the shopping for them. That's the advantage of being with an IMO like us, where you have several different carriers to choose from, and you're not just focused on one single company. Okay? What to expect next? The discovery part is the most critical in my opinion. I believe this is where the sale is made or lost. You have to be able to ask the kind of questions that's going to get them to open up and tell you why this is important to them. What do you know about final expense insurance? Have you ever personally had to help somebody pay for a funeral? What was that like? How did it make you feel? Has somebody in your family recently had a heart attack or died? Right? Deep emotional questions. First level, third level, second level, fourth level, all different kinds to elicit what? What are you trying to do? You're trying to make them say, Lewis, this is what I don't want to happen to me. This is why, because I've seen it and I've witnessed it and I've felt it, and I don't want that to happen to my family. That's what you're looking for. And until you hear that, there's no reason to go into underwriting and medications and quoting. That's our opinion. That's how we train. That's how we coach. Discovery is critical. And depending on the flow of the call, 2 and 3 are very interchangeable. But you can't move to the next step until that piece is established. The goal is to find people that are sufficiently disturbed to do something today. Right? Does that make sense? Today. Part of needs and discovery has being empathetic when you're talking to them and you're listening and you're sharing personal stories, short individual stories. Storytelling is critical. They've got to be the hero. You're hoping to find out what they need, solve it, make an offer, and then take them to where they have the peace of mind that it's done and they don't have to worry about it anymore. Rapport building integrates. Step number 4 integrates completely with number 3. So it's talking about aligning your beliefs. If I believe what you believe and you believe what I believe, we got a 100% chance of trying to move forward. If there's conflict and there's battle right there, it's not going to happen, guys. You've heard the old cliche. They don't care what you know until they know you care, right? Cliche but true. They don't trust you, and if they don't like you, they're not going to buy from you. Cliche but true. So 2 and 3 is critical to establish that platform and find common ground and getting them to indict themselves to tell you why this is important to move forward and do it today. And if you don't have buy-in as you're moving through this, steps 1 through 4, absolutely no reason to quote. That's our opinion. Why go into medications and underwriting when you're going to hear in 10 minutes, 15 minutes, 20 minutes, I got to think about it. I got to go talk to my son, talk to my daughter, send me something in the mail, blah, 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 blah. If you're doing this correctly, guys, you will eliminate all objections except for probably one, which means I can't afford it, and that's the real one. Now it's a matter of trying to align what they can do with their existing budget. It's not if I want to do this today, it's how much can I afford to do this today. The next piece of the puzzle, we believe, is the medical questions. All right? Critical underwriting. You got to be a good underwriter. You got to understand the questions on the applications and find the least path of resistance. Way too many agents go straight to a guaranteed issue when people can qualify for an ROP and maybe even level with certain carriers. But you got to know the questions on the applications. The medical questions are designed to help you in underwriting, but from a sales perspective, they create urgency. They create your urgency. Oh my gosh, Miss Mary, you know that medication is pretty serious. And the majority of the carriers out there are probably going to deny you. But the wonderful thing of working with us and me is that I have several different carriers to choose from, and I'm going to find you somebody today. Does that make sense? Great. Cancer is serious. I can see why many people would have turned you down, but we got you today. I got your back. We're going to help you. Determine the plan type. What do they qualify for? A good, simple carrier application that's not complicated to do. Verify the bank account and the ability to pay. All right? Before you quote, do they have access to their bank account? All right? Don't worry about debit cards and direct express cards. It's bad business. Focus on bank accounts. 90% of chargebacks typically come because the agents will not set the application date on the Social Security funding date. Think about that for a second. All right? So now you're going through the medical questions. You're going through the carrier applications. You're asking the questions. You're verifying if they got a bank and the ability to pay. Now, we're going to shift the direction in number 6 to the carrier. They have the fiduciary responsibility, not you as an agent. So the customer now has to understand who the carrier is that's going to nurture them and take care of them and be there to pay the claim. So you got to talk about the insurance company. You got to talk about accidental death riders. You got to talk about the grandchild riders. You got to talk about all the stuff. It's the sizzle. All right? It's all the extra stuff that creates value for the price. All right? Think about that. Value for the price. All right? Many of these benefits are free. All right? So you got to emphasize that the carrier of your choice is the best to handle their current medical conditions, and here's all the additional benefits that I hope to get you qualified for. Right? A small little takeaway. So you have to have the psychology of knowing the script, what to ask, when to ask it, why to ask it, and if at any given time they give you pushback, you can swing back and forth between number 1 and number 5 to get to the point where you're in number 6. The carrier profile is critical, all right? Last thing is the quote and the close. We believe in 3 quotes: high, medium, low. We typically start at 100, 70, and 50. Most people end up in the middle, somewhere between $50 and $80 a month. All right? And it's logical. Nobody wants to be cheap. Nobody wants to be over crazy expensive. So most people settle in the middle. And a perfect closing statement is, Miss Mary, of these 3 options, which one would you like Louise, your daughter, to receive a check for? a check. Visualize, 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 okay? You got to paint the picture and you got to paint the story. And then the button up. God, if I could tell you how many times I listen to phone calls and the agent doesn't button up at the end, and they just leave them hanging out there. And then all of a sudden the person hangs up the phone and goes, oh my God, what did I just do? How are they going to be able to explain what they did to their son or their daughter if they don't know who you are? They don't know how to find you. They don't know how to reach you. They don't know what they just bought, the name of the company, how much it cost, what's the face value, what to expect next. Are they going to get a welcome letter? Do they have a phone number to customer service? When do they expect the policy? All right. If you're just throwing stuff up on the wall, you're going to get chargebacks. 5-6 months from now, you're going to go broke and go out of business. So trust me when I tell you that this is a complete package. You got to be able to do 1 through 7, and you have to have buy-in as you move along before you go all the way through to the end. Take this information, guys. Apply it as best as you can. If you're looking for an IMO that can coach and teach you and mentor you, come see Final Expense Direct. We're here for you, all right? We're training every month. Go subscribe to our YouTube channel. Take a look below. Come make it happen. And let's go make this year a successful year for yourself and your family. You guys be safe out there. Enjoy your afternoon.